The Madman's Library by Edward Brooke-Hitching, published by Chronicle Books. This book is, as the title would suggest, it's a compendium of strange books and manuscripts and, other odd literary curiosities found throughout history. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate this dust jacket. It is very richly detailed. I mean, you can pretty much make out every word in that, this mirrored, I think it's a mirror, I'm not too sure here. It's just incredibly detailed. Just, all the writings on the books here too. Very, very well done. And the back cover, we have some images of some demons or fantastic creatures pulled from medieval bestiaries. And if we look at the book itself, let me just take a moment to remove this dust jacket, as lovely as it is. Get rid of that. Covered, it's hardbound with this really lovely scarlet gel text material. And it is a hybrid bound, meaning it's glued and sewn. Though I will say, you can hear it probably. You hear that crinkling sound. It's almost as if the spine board, the glue holding the spine board to the cover material has come apart. And every time you open the book or handle it, you get this creaking sound. Which doesn't sound too good, so maybe I won't do that anymore. And then a shot of the spine. You can see here it is stamped in gold. Very simple design. But if we open it up, these end pages, very, very vibrant colors. Really well done. Interesting as well. And the paper itself is really nice quality. It is bright white, which I normally don't like too much, but it does have a matte finish, which makes it easy to read, not as harsh on the eyes. And the paper itself is, it's lovely, very high quality, very soft. It almost has a very odd texture. I don't know how to describe it. I wonder if it's some sort of infused with plastic, like a recycled material. I'm not sure. It just has this very soft kind of velvety finish, and it's very durable. And thick. I enjoy it a lot, actually. And it lends itself to rendering images quite well, as you can see. Just lots and lots of detail captured on this title page here and throughout the book, really. So here is the contents page for you. Show you up close so that you can get a taste of what's inside. But there's lots of, I could talk about the book from every section of every chapter, really. I think most notably, though, books that stood out to me were books. They were books bound in human skin. It was morbid. Let's see if I can find it here. Yes, here's an example. So this is a book that was bound in human skin. Harvard actually owns this book now. And I think the technical term is called anthropodermic bibliopagy. Bibliopagy? I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, I don't know why you would want to own a book in human skin, or why they would even, you know, back in the day, why they would even use human skin to begin with. But the book kind of talks about that a little bit. You know, some of the confessions of criminals were occasionally bound in their skin, like in the skin of the convicted, and other people would donate their bodies for use for this specific purpose, you know, for medical studies, and even still, it's like, why? And you know, the most, I think, like a romantic metaphor or a romantic explanation would be to, you know, to encapsulate great writing in the flesh, just as the mortal body encloses the soul. But it just is too gruesome for me. These are all just, ugh. And this book in particular, like, if you look closely, you can actually see the pores of the skin, and knowing that it is a human body that was used to, it's just, ugh, it's too gruesome for me. It gives me the ick. So that just kind of stuck out to me, just because of the macabre nature of it. And yes, books written in blood. Saddam Hussein actually had a copy of the Quran written in blood. Found that out. There's a lot of information to pick up in this book. This is the Voynich manuscript. I actually have the Voynich manuscript, well, like a facsimile reproduction of it. Very fascinating. I should probably do a review on that, actually. And then, yeah, other stuff that like everything kind of pops out at you. You could really get lost in this book, and the imagery and information that you find inside. Here we have the images used for the end pages. This was a mental patient with schizophrenia created these images. Works of the supernatural. This was another interesting section for me. The books in here, this section just kind of goes over, you know, grimoires, magical texts, alchemical texts, you know, books for summoning demons and books for summoning angels, curses and blessings and magical healing and defense against the dark arts. I mean, it's all kind of compiled into this in a general way. Fascinating, definitely, for sure. And some pretty wild artwork, as you can see. Moving right along. There's some demons, depictions of demons. Really fascinating and intriguing stuff. Oh yeah, this is something else I want to talk about. Books of spectacular size. Here we have the Codex Gigas, which means giant book, also known as the Devil's Bible, for its lore and legend. This is the book right here. It's massive in size, as you can see here. It's a meter in length. And the story behind this book is that a 13th century Benedictine monk had broken his monastic vows and was sentenced to be walled up inside the monastery to die. And so to avoid death, what he did was he promised to create a book in one night that would be a record of all human knowledge to date, and this would serve to glorify the monastery. And his superior said, fine, go ahead, do it. Won't be able to do it. And come midnight, he realized he wasn't going to be able to do it. And how could you? It's just an impossible task. So what this monk did was he prayed to the devil and asked the devil for his assistance to help him finish the book. And the devil did, and it was done in one night. And to pay tribute to his work, the devil put a picture of himself inside a full-page illustration inside the book. That's why it's called the Devil's Bible. And there's, I saw a documentary about this book, actually, where they had done some scientific analysis on it and studied it, and they had determined that it was a single person who had written the book in its entirety, just based on the inks used, the paper, the script, the handwriting, the calligraphy. It all kind of indicated that a single person had created the book. And what's interesting is that this book was so big, it required 100 donkey hides to make the parchment paper, and just doing the calligraphy, writing the calligraphy alone would have taken 20 years of nonstop writing. Like, it's insane. So whether or not, you believe in the lore or not, it stood the test of time. And there was it's not funny, but there was this little anecdote. Where was it here? Yeah, right here on the bottom. So the Devil's Bible was thrown out of a window due to the Royal Palace of Brussels catching fire, which was where it was being stored. So the librarians began throwing these books out of the window to save them, and the Devil's Bible apparently landed on somebody, killing them. So, the book is, 75 kilograms, 165-pound book just come flying out the window of a burning building and landed on you. It just so happened to be the Devil's Bible. That's such a way to go out, really. So that's a very, very interesting book. There's also very, very small books in here too. Yeah, right here, for instance, this is the world's smallest book, which is, who did it? I forget the university. It was in Vancouver. Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, BC, Canada. They took the story, The Teeny Tiny Ted from Turnip Town by Malcolm Douglas Chaplin, and etched it into 30 micro tablets of crystalline silicon, each measuring 70 to 90 micrometers in width, which the book can fit on the width of a human hair, to just give you some perspective. And you can't read it unless you have an electron microscope. So incredibly small book. It's so much fun, fun little anecdotes and tidbits of information in this book. I really enjoyed it. It would make a wonderful coffee table book. It's very intriguing material. Index here, bibliography. But yeah, that's basically it. I could go on at length just talking about this book, but then I would spoil it for you should you ever want to pick up a copy for yourself. But I really would recommend this book to any lover of books, language, or just the bizarre in general. There's plenty of that in here. It's a wonderful conversation piece too. Just kind of leave it out on your coffee table for guests to strike up a conversation with. Yeah, this is, I believe Edward Brooke-Hitching has multiple books. He kind of has compendiums of materials. So after reading this, I think I'm going to check out the rest of his collection and see what else he has to offer, because I did enjoy this one so much. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that one. Thank you so much for joining me as always, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.